I want to completely challenge the vocabulary constructs of the throwing world, and we're going to start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dane Miller from throwsuniversity.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you want to learn how to become a better glider, you want to learn how to utilize the rotational technique in the shot put or the discus, make sure that you like, you subscribe, you ring that notification bell so that we can help you become a champion. So in the throwing world, we utilize the term the block leg or the block, especially when we're referring to the glide, the rotational technique in the shot put, and the rotational technique in the discus. The block leg is referred to as that non-dominant leg. So if we're talking specifically about right-handed throwers, we're going to be talking about the left leg when it grounds at the front of the circle. That left leg that grounds at the front of the circle, that is specifically referring to the block leg. And that is where my challenge to the entire throwing world comes into play, is that I am putting out a notice that we are going to be changing this term to make it a more effective terminology that we can utilize and educate our young throwers. So first off, what are the overarching issues behind the block leg? And I think that even when you ask a beginner thrower or an intermediate thrower, if you ask them to define the block leg, define what it is supposed to be doing, there's three serious problems based off of the name that come into play when we're talking about the block leg. That first issue is that it's a non-dynamic movement. It's something where we actually think about the block leg is stiff, it's static, it's non-dynamic, it doesn't really move, it doesn't do anything. It just sort of blocks you off. And that's one of the big issues, is that it's not non-dynamic. That left leg, even when it is grounded, even in some of the best throwers in the world, when it is flat and it's grounded, it plays a vital role that is much deeper than blocking. That second big problem I have with the term blocked leg is that it's actually locked out. A lot of people actually believe that the left leg has to be locked out. They relay it similar to what you might see when we're talking about the left leg in the javelin throw. But that's not what the left leg is doing here. And oftentimes, coaches will even use the analogy of hitting the brakes on a fast car. You're driving very quickly, you hit the brakes and you fly through the windshield. And that's an okay analogy, but now that sort of makes the athlete think they've got to have that left leg completely locked out. The left knee has to be locked out. And that is not what happens in the best discus throws in the world, the best shot put throws in the world. The left leg is not locked out. It's very semi-bent, and that punches a hole in the term for the block leg. Finally, that third big problem is that a lot of athletes actually think they should be blocked off with their block leg. They hear block leg and they actually think the left leg and the left hip should be blocking the right leg. That non-dominant leg should be blocking everything. It should be in front of it and almost preventing the right side from even rotating or transferring forward. And that leads to this serious problem, is that one, we think it's non-dynamic. Two, we think it should be locked out. And it should not be entirely locked out. It should be stiff, it should be rigid, but with a very slight bend in the knee. And finally, it should not be blocking off the athlete. It should be a little bit past where that right leg is so that the athlete is able to transfer their energy properly. So that leads us to, what should that non-dominant leg be called? It should be referred to as the transfer leg. Why should we refer to this as the transfer leg? The first thing right away is that we've got to recognize that the left leg should be dynamic. It should not be locked out. It should not be blocking the body. Instead, it should be in the right position, a little bit behind that right leg, and it should be semi-stiff, but still dynamic enough that energy is able to transfer into that left leg. Oftentimes, if an athlete is blocked out or they have that left leg stiff, they fall back, they pick up their left leg early, and their weight never transfers into the left side. So we've got to think about it. If we want to promote a double support position on the finish, we want to have a long grounded finish, we need to enable our side movement to transfer into that left side. And when the energy transfers into that left side, now our right side can finish even longer in a longer grounded position because our left leg is dynamic. It's enabled energy to transfer forward, and we can continue our rotation or our linear drive forward if we're a glider. And so it's very, very important that even in the athletes that have a flat left or that don't have a flat left at the front, that leg is still dynamic. You've got to stay down on that left. You got to hold double support through that long finish, and that enables energy to transfer out into the sector. And when energy can transfer out into the sector, now we're going to have a bigger throw because we're transferring everything into the implement. We are not blocking off the energy. Instead, we are transferring that energy, and that is why we will refer to that left leg from now on as the transfer leg in the realm and the world of throwing terminology. So if you like this video and you want more information about throws-based training, head over to throwsuniversity.com, pick up a technical analysis or one of our books. If you want more information about technique, click on this video right here, talking about that transfer leg. Until next time, guys, peace.